Hey guys, tonight we tumble into the snowbound world of a country that lasted just 38 days. You find yourself high in the Tatra Mountains where the air is thin, pine sweet, and a little too cold for comfort. A dusting of frost clings to your sleeves and your boots crunch against the icy road as you pass wooden chalets nestled under drooping snowcaps. There's something strange in the air, like the whole forest is holding its breath. The year is 1918, the Great War has just ended. Across Europe, empires collapse like tipsy dominoes, and new nations bloom out of the cracks. Poland is being reborn after 123 years in pieces, and in this remote corner of the Carpathians, something even weirder is happening. Zakopane, a sleepy mountain resort town famous for ski trails and sheep's cheese, is about to declare itself an independent republic. You're just in time to see it happen, and you probably won't survive this, at least not as a functioning government official. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, post your city and what time it is where you were listening. I love seeing how far these journeys travel. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You step into Zakopane at twilight. The clouds stretch thin and peach-colored across the mountain tops, and somewhere a dog barks twice and stops. Horses pull sleighs past steaming chimneys, and villagers gather at the edge of the square, faces flushed from cold and quiet excitement. Someone's passing out hand-painted pamphlets. One lands in your hand before you can say no. The header reads, "Provisional Republic of Zakopane, a new beginning." You raise an eyebrow. Apparently, while you were catching your breath from the long hike uphill, the local intelligentsia decided to start a country. That's right. A country, complete with a president, a temporary constitution, and a whole lot of improvisation. There's no army, there's no treasury, there are barely any roads. But there's one thing Zakopane does have in spades: enthusiasm. Also, sheep. Lots of sheep. You duck into a smoky tavern to thaw your fingers. Inside, the stove roars and a few mustachioed men argue over whether it est Republic or Republican Council, or Mountain Committee of Self-Determination. One of them insists on anti-Austrian autonomous Highlander stronghold, which doesn't roll off the tongue, but earns a polite nod. There's vodka being passed around, but mostly for heat. A woman in a knitted scarf offers you a seat and a boiled potato. No one here really knows what comes next. And to be fair, how could they? Just weeks ago, Zakopane was still under Austro-Hungarian rule. Technically, it still is, though the empire has other things on its mind, like dissolving. You can feel the borders shifting under your feet. The imperial garrison in town has packed up and left without even taking their uniforms. A tailor now rents them out to kids for theatre shows. It's adorable and deeply illegal. Historians still argue whether Zakopane's republic was ever truly sovereign or just a flamboyant protest. Some call it a symbolic act of resistance, others an over-enthusiastic neighborhood meeting that got out of hand. But to the people in this room, it feels real, it feels necessary. There's a wind-up gramophone in the corner, and someone puts on a crackly record of a folk tune you don't recognize. A teacher stands and reads aloud from a handwritten declaration taped to the wall. It calls for unity, for democracy, for hot soup in every household. The crowd applauds politely. Then, awkward silence, as everyone realizes they still have to figure out how to run this so-called country. You step back outside into the brittle cold. It's darker now, and the moonlight makes the snow sparkle like crushed glass. Up the street, a wooden hall glows with lantern light. Inside, tomorrow's big meeting will take place, Zakopane's first real attempt at self-government. Everyone's invited. which is charming until you remember that this town is full of artists, philosophers and mountaineers, not exactly seasoned bureaucrats. But it's hard to stay cynical when the stars come out like this. You wander uphill past smoking chimneys and shuttered windows. Somewhere a man is rehearsing a speech to his goats. A woman knits furiously by candlelight, muttering about train schedules and border checkpoints. The scent of pine smoke and cabbage stew hangs low over the rooftops. Quirky detail time. Someone is trying to breed a strain of Republican chickens that will only lay eggs under red and white bunting. It's not working, but the chickens look festive. You settle onto a wooden bench and take in the hush of this newborn nation. There's something magic about a place inventing itself in real time. You can practically hear the gears turning, wooden gears, slightly splintered, but turning nonetheless. A local journalist told you earlier that Zakopane has always been a bit extra. This is, after all, the same town where people hike in tuxedos and throw poetry duels on mountaintops. So maybe founding a micro-republic is just the next logical step. The wind picks up, rattling a shutter loose. You pull your coat tighter and close your eyes for a moment. Tomorrow, the business of nation building begins, or continues, or collapses. At this point, it's all fair game. But tonight, in the soft snow light of the Tatras, you're just a citizen of somewhere that didn't exist yesterday and might not tomorrow. Welcome to the Republic of Zakopane. Population, enthusiastic. Passport, probably a napkin. National anthem, TBD. But for now, you're home.